No, I'm just going by my teachings and my learning, and it's how I've been my whole life. Even as a Jew, as a Catholic now, I just listen to what people, what my teachings are saying to me, and however I feel, what my heart feels is how I relate and how I think, and that's really it. I mean, it's not proven to us yet, and I don't know if it ever will be proven.
Well, like Chad would say, certain things just have to be taken on faith. Let's face it. As you said, we weren't there at the beginning.
Like Chad said, like I said.
Yeah, I think Felix said it.
That's right.
Well, you're on my wire.
Oh.
We weren't there at the beginning.
Well,
I am an we may have.
Is that on your end?
Who's to say that guy? That's coming from her end.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my car. I had opened the door for a second.
Okay, for a second I thought you were going on an elevator.
No. When you open the doors in my car, you get that noise, and then when you start the car up, you get a different kind of. This is very futuristic with this car. I'm still learning about it.
Anyway, we forgot to turn on the chat room, and it doesn't look like anybody's on it. Well, how could anybody be on it if the chat room was turned off? But now the chat room is on, and
let's remind everybody of our number.
Our phone number is 646-595-3275. And I told Mark earlier, the way I feel about it is I don't believe in creationism, because I don't believe that Earth was created 6,000 years ago. I don't believe in Adam and Eve. I believe that God may have started.
Oh, you have to say that it makes for a good children's story.
Exactly what I said before. It's a Genesis, a nice story, and but it's people were trying to get an explanation of how things started. This is how religions start. They start writing things down. I mean, how could you explain that only half of the world started believing that, and the other half started not believing any of that?
I'm not following.
Half the world believed in the Christianity and how the world started with Adam and Eve and all that, and the other half of the world doesn't.
No, I think if you remember when I spoke about my sister's rabbi, my sister from upstate.
No, but you don't follow what I'm saying.
No, I'm following what you're saying.
So why are you cutting me off?
I'm saying, why don't you listen for a change to what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that people can be Catholic, just like people can be Jewish, but the fact that they are educated people does not mean that they believe that the world was created in 6 days. Okay? Rabbi said that. I'm sure that I've seen learned priests, that are interviewed on talk shows that say that it says in the Bible that God created the world in 6 days, but that doesn't necessarily mean because they are educated people. What are you doing?
This is not what I was talking about, Mark.
That was what you were talking about.
No, it's not. What are you going to tell me what I'm talking about?
Then how can you say that half the world believes one thing and half the world believes something else?
What I'm saying is half of the world does not even know anything about the Ten Commandments, any of that. They've never got, they believe in other things. And if there was a God that created the Ten Commandments, the way everything started, then everybody in the world will know about the Ten Commandments.
Unless you've read about Hindus, Buddhists, and other religious sects, okay, you can't say that because the stories may be different. They all allude to, you know, how they believe their world began, all right? The start of man and woman, the Ten Commandments. It's just like the big flood in the Old Testament. Noah has one version, but then, Gilgamesh talks about the same flood, but he doesn't call Noah Noah, all right? And they talk about other things. So other religions have their own version, is what I'm saying. So you can't say that they don't believe that the world began that way. Okay, you can't say that. But even if they do, what I was saying was, since all religious clerics are educated, on one hand they believe in the interpretation of the Bible, but on the other hand they have to leave room for the scientific explanation of evolution. Okay, I'm not saying which one they believe more. I don't know. Okay, but what my sister's rabbi said was, as a rabbi, he believes that the earth was created the way it says in the Bible, but the fact that he has a master's or a doctorate in theology or whatever, and he's taken science courses and he's well read, part of him says that, it makes sense. That other part evolution makes sense. Someplace there has to be a meeting of the mind. Because if you spoke to,
wait a second. So in other words, are you talking about like the Big Bang Theory or something like that, or more Scientology?
Well, no, not Scientology, but even the Big Bang Theory. Okay, who started the Big Bang Theory?
I would believe that God could have done it. That would make sense to me. If God that created the Big Bang Theory, that would be.
Well, according to Chad, it was, who do you think started the bang? Okay, there has to be somebody who started it. All right, scientists will have one explanation, but theologians will say, because they are religious people, well, who's to say that God didn't start it? Okay, and the only thing, the only thing that I'm saying is because as a teacher, I had, I had Asian people in my class, I had Indian people in my class, and their belief, while their religion may not believe in the Bible as we read it, their religion explains certain things that you can draw analogies to. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. That there are similarities. It's just called something different, that's all.
Okay, well, I know the American Indians.
Oh, the Great Spirit. They talk about the Great Spirit.
Which is, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying there's a God. I'm just saying
they believe the Great Spirit created whatever, look, I'm not that well read on that, I have to honestly say. But the way, the way we explain things, that's how they do it, only they rely on the Great Spirit. In Greek and Roman mythology, when they had to explain certain things that happened in the world, they always looked to the gods, there was more than one, and said, Apollo's the sun god. Zeus was, like Thor. Okay, he was in the Norse religions.
No, I understand that.
Odin, not Thor. Odin.
Everybody, when they couldn't explain something,
they always
went to the gods. My point is, and I'd have to look it up just to make sure, that if one God created everybody from Adam and Eve, then everybody in the world would know who Adam and Eve is.
If you remember in the Old Testament, when the Babylonians, it was either the Babylonians or the people of Damascus, I'm not sure, They built, remember the Tower of Babel, which was in Babylon? And they were reaching up to the heavens, and God felt that this was an insult because they wanted to reach the heavens. They wanted to be like God. And God caused the tower to come down. Up until that point, everybody spoke the same language. When the Tower of Babel came down, people started speaking in different languages, and they couldn't understand each other. That was the curse that God placed upon man, okay, that they all had different ways of speaking. Now, in those different ways of speaking, there might have been different explanations for what they call the Bible or the origins of man. I don't know. But that's one way, religion explains why we have, trying to be funny now, the Rosetta Stone group of Spanish, English, German, Italian, French, that you pay $500 for to learn a language. That's why we're all not speaking the same language. Okay? But that's how the Bible explains it.
Okay.
Felix is now doing what he does best.
My research.
That's it.
I was going to say, he's Googling.
That's it.
Exactly right. I am Googling. Oh, wait a second. Forget about Googling,
How
Mark.
do Hindus believe the world was created? What?
No, Mark. That's all you need right now. Well, that's the tip. That's all I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, it says here, according to Hindu philosophy, the universe for multiverse never came to be at some particular point, but it has always been there. But is perpetually in flux. See, that's completely different from the. Okay. You there, Lisa?
I'm here.
Lisa? Okay, it says, I want to repeat it because Mark didn't hear me. According to Hindu philosophy, the universe or multiverse never came to be at some particular point, but always has been. Always will be, but is perpetually in flux. Space and time are cyclical nature. The universe is simply the current one.
Oh, well, in that
which
case,
is in flux and constantly changing. When it finally ceases to manifest, a new one will arise. All interesting parallel to these ideas can be found in
all right, Rev.
this scaporic,
think of it this way.
model of the universe.
They don't believe in a Big Bang. What they're saying is that the world just existed.
Always.
Well, but
they don't have a start.
But they do have a God, right? They have many gods.
They have God.
Okay. They would probably go along with the explanation in the Old Testament, which is also accepted by Catholics, the believers in the New Testament, that God made what we call God, created the world.
Hindu sculptures,
because they won't believe in the Big Bang.
Yeah, Hindu scriptures hold that Lord Vishnu, the protector and caretaker of all creation, sleeps in the middle of the vast ocean on the giant snake Shishinga or Mana. I mean, they have no.
Put the old one in the oven.
Hold on a second.
You don't want to do it? All right.
Hold on.